Okay, welcome back. In the days following the 2020 election, Georgia became the center of a firestorm after Donald Trump's now infamous phone call to the Secretary of State asking to find him more votes. Now in 2024, Georgia is again in the spotlight as Republicans have tied up the courts in litigation ahead of next Tuesday's election. We want to bring in former Chicago area reporter Bill Torpy, who works now as a contributor to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, for more on what's happening on the ground. Bill, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a thrill as a Chicago native to be on the station that brought us Bengali.
Hey, it's great to have you. You've described the legal battle currently going on in Georgia as a framework for Donald Trump to chip away at the election. Let our viewers know what's going on in Georgia.
Well, I think what happened after the election in 2020 here is now happening before the election, is that a lot of the MAGA machinery is trying to put in place a way to make the election seem like it's fraudulent if there is a close election, if Donald Trump, that is, loses in the vote. So they're trying to set up a framework, a legal framework to get what they want to do.
Bill, one of the things we're hearing is that we are probably not going to know the outcome of this, perhaps for days after next Tuesday. Is one of the issues in Georgia the debate over whether or not ballots will be counted by hand versus machine? Where are we on that front?
Well, they will be counted by machine, as they have been for years. There was a battle, and it has, I think, been settled by the courts, is that the election board wanted to set it up so that they can count them that night and at the precincts. They wouldn't be counting who is winner, but they would just be counting to see if indeed there are the same amount of votes on the paper ballots as there are on the machine. And that is basically what they're trying to do, in my mind, is to make it that sometimes there's a number that is off, maybe a couple numbers, just by a tiny bit, but they want to see if they can then use that as a basis to claim that there's been fraud and then bring it forward further that way.
Bill, you've reported that Georgia may not be quite as purple as a lot of us think. Are Republicans going to come out in bigger numbers this time around?
It seems like they are. The early votes are showing that they are. But I think what is happening now is everybody's mind is made up. It's just a matter of getting your troops out to the polls. So it's a ground game matter right now. I have a son that has gotten about 6 or 8 pieces of mail urging him to vote. For some reason, they haven't asked me to vote, but both the Democrats and the Republicans are pushing hard to get bodies to the polls.
And we know that Trump and Governor Kemp are hardly on speed dial these days. How important is this fractured relationship going into next Tuesday?
It's been soothed a little bit, I think. They really were far apart, and I know neither of them care for each other very much. But I think that in the recent months, Kemp has been supporting him verbally, and he knows that, if he wants a political future, he needs the MAGA voting bloc behind him. So it's the reality of the Republican world right now. You have to kiss the ring, so to speak.
Bill Torpy with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, formerly a native of Chicago. Hey, thanks for your time and your insights today. Appreciate it.
Sure thing. Have a good one.
You too.